Right, so for today's video, we actually have the third video talking about this whole 4th of July party drama. It all started when a user called Folk Medicine Remedies, or Nicole, posted a video talking about her experience at a neighbourhood party / gathering. She'd recently moved to the area, she was invited by her son's friend's mother. It turns out that the homeowners / party hosts weren't very happy with Nicole being there, and they were extremely rude to her, is what we're hearing from the story. The person who invited Nicole claims that the family knew that Nicole was going to be showing up, it wasn't just kind of like this big surprise. The homeowners, Jake and Stasia, had slightly different stories, with Jake saying that he was aware that Nicole was coming, but he thought she was just going to drop off a kid and then leave and not come inside. And in Stasia's video, she makes it seem as if she just didn't know Nicole was showing up in the slightest. And when I first made this video, it really didn't feel like a situation that was going to end up being like 3 videos, right, of me kind of talking about this, but there have been just so many updates that have been coming out since that first video that we're now here. And the situation's got a lot more serious as it went on, right? In the second video, the last video they uploaded on this situation, we found out that the police were involved. And in fact, in today's video, we're actually going to be looking through a statement from the sheriff's office. So yeah, that's obviously a very fast recap of what we spoke about previously. I would recommend checking out the other 2 videos if you're unaware of what's happened in this situation. Of course, there's a lot of details that I missed out in that fast recap that I did mention in the previous videos. What I am going to do though is quickly go through a couple of things we spoke about in the last video that are very important to today's like updates. So yeah, everything I'm about to show you here comes up again later on. That's why I'm showing it. So there was first of all this comment here that we read in a previous video that says, "The Hicks know F1 in Gate City. I think you need to be careful of how this continues, because if your followers continue to send them death threats and harass them, then Jeff Eds will not take it kindly. Just a friendly warning. You won't be able to make any friends in town now easily." So Jeff Eds, we later find out, is the sheriff of the area. And you actually see Nicole replied to this saying, "Is this a threat? Because I sent exactly 0 people to them. I didn't even know anyone but one first name. I said, lol, you can't be serious." Another comment that we previously looked at that hasn't updated later on is this one that says, "Somebody who was friends with them works at the school and is leaking your child's information. File a complaint with the district." And we even see a reply to this saying, "Unfortunately, the district is probably just as bad, as they all know each other and stick up for their behaviour." So we've seen as we've been going through this, right, it has been believed and it's been claimed by a lot of people that the Hicks family, you know, Stasia and Jake, have some kind of relationship with the sheriff, right? We don't know if like they're really close friends or anything like that, but it was claimed that they at least knew of each other, and his name was being mentioned because of this. Again, these are all just accusations, right? I'm not saying that that's actually true. But of course, we also heard a claim about how one of, like, the friends of the family actually works at a school and is apparently, according to this comment, leaking information. If you remember my last video, we spoke about how an officer actually went to Nicole's house and left, like, a card, because I guess no one was in, and then when they actually called the officer to see what this is about, he was claiming that someone had actually left a voicemail to the sheriff threatening him and claiming to be Chris, who is Nicole's husband.
Like somebody left a voicemail at the sheriff's office yesterday, pretty much threatening the sheriff. And I mean, like your wife said, you do have a distinct voice, and the guy on the voicemail kind of, I mean, similar. I don't know you personally, so I can't really say it's your voice or not your voice.
Yeah, so throughout this call, the officer says like multiple times that it sounds like him in the call, and that's why they've kind of put 2 and 2 together, I guess. He said the reason why he knows that is because he went over to look at Nicole's TikTok account and heard her husband speaking and decided that the voices sounded similar, so it could be him. Nicole then went on to mention that Jeff Ed's name was brought up and asks the officer what's happening there, and the officer says that the sheriff's not happy that his name was brought up, and he's already spoke to the other party and told them that there's nothing he can do.
We hear one thing and we just follow up on it.
You know, it's very interesting because we hear one thing as well, and the fact that I was threatened with Jeff Eads is kind of disconcerting when all I did was go to a gathering where I was treated very horribly, and it went viral on the internet. I'm sure you're very aware of it. I didn't do anything. Listen, I didn't do anything wrong, and to have that threatened when I don't even know anybody in the area is just kind of... I think it's
I've talked to the sheriff, and he wants the parts of it, and I'm pretty sure he don't like that his name was thrown out at you.
I'm sure he doesn't.
As far as I know, he told the other parties involved that it's civil and there's nothing he can do. Pretty much, he hates that his name got brought into it.
And then finally, the officer actually goes on to play the call that claims to be Chris. The officer's also saying that Chris sounds similar to the person in the call. The problem being is that the person in the call claiming to be Chris seems to have a southern accent, and Chris and Nicole aren't southern. They've recently moved to this town.
Alright, this is for the sheriff. This fucking piece of shit, scumbag motherfucker.
They have a southern accent.
Don't be calling her the soundbag when they're part of that party. We've been hearing that you've been hurting her. I'm telling you right now, unless you want all the United States of America to show up on your doorstep,
So yeah, that was the call. You hear Nicole in the background saying like they have a southern accent. A lot of people after seeing this video were leaving comments assuming that it was Jake, Stasia's husband. There's no proof of that, and in fact Stasia, in the last video we spoke about, she released a statement and denied that they were involved with this call. Now actually, as we see later, it seems like Nicole also seems to believe that it could possibly be Jake, but we'll get to that. First things first though, we need to look through a new response from Scott County, Virginia Sheriff's Office. They posted this on Facebook. July 11, 2025. The Scott County Sheriff's Office would like to address recent events that have escalated due to misinformation circulating on social media. As a result, there have been many cases of threats, intimidation, and vandalism directed towards the individuals involved and personnel from Scott County Sheriff's Office. The Virginia State Police are currently investigating these incidents. We understand the concerns have arisen following an incident that occurred on the evening of July 4th, and it is of the utmost importance to clarify the information known to Scott County Sheriff's Office at this time. Up to this point, the Scott County Sheriff's Office has not issued a statement due to there being no involvement of any Sheriff's Office employee, including Sheriff Jeff Edds, regarding this incident. Okay, so this is obviously a direct response to his name being brought up. It is interesting to see that they say that there's been no involvement, because we have kind of seen a video of them getting involved, right? I guess it wasn't directly because of the incident on July 4th, it was more to do with a call, but that is related to this situation, right? It is our understanding that on July 4th, a Scott County family hosted a private gathering at their residence to celebrate the holiday with friends and family. During the event, a dispute arose involving one of the guests, an individual not known personally to the host, who was invited by another guest without prior introduction to the homeowners. As the situation unfolded, the homeowners observed the individual in their home and, out of concern, questioned individuals present. It is the understanding of the Scott County Sheriff's Office that as a result of this interaction between the parties involved, the initial social media post was made. It has since been reported on various social media platforms that after the incident occurred, unknown individuals claimed the family was well known in Scott County and had a close personal relationship with Sheriff Jeff Edds. These comments also included a warning for the individual to watch out, implying potential favoritism or intimidation. We want to stress that Sheriff Jeff Edds and the Scott County Sheriff's Office was not and is currently not involved in this incident in any way. The Scott County Sheriff's Office was not dispatched to the scene, nor did the individual involved file any formal complaints with our office or any other law enforcement agency. There were no deputies or Sheriff's Office employees present at the scene, and there is no current investigation into the initial incident. As Scott County is a small rural community, Sheriff Jeff Edds is aware of many local families, including the one involved in this incident. However, Sheriff Edds does not maintain a personal relationship with the individuals in question. Okay, so they're basically saying that Jeff Edds is aware of families in the neighborhood, including the one involved in this situation, but doesn't have a personal relationship with them. Or the exact words are, doesn't have a personal relationship with the individuals in question. So I don't know if that just means specifically like Stasia and Jake, and might know someone else in the family. I don't know, right? Obviously, I'm reading into it a bit here. But obviously, the main reason for this post is because there was comments from people claiming that, like, Sheriff Jeff Edds is, like, involved with this family in one way or another, might be close to them, like, knows people in the family might take their side. Obviously, we heard this threatening phone call that was probably meant to be Chris, but doesn't really sound like him. And there was a lot of people worried that there might be some type of, like, small-town corruption going on here, right? And obviously, this post is being made to deny them claims. Sheriff's commitment to integrity and community safety. Sheriff Jeff Edds is dedicated to serving all individuals with the highest standards of integrity, transparency, and accountability. He believes in the protection of all individuals, regardless of race, sex, religion, ethnicity, or sexual orientation. The Scott County Sheriff's Office is currently undergoing the process of accreditation through the Virginia Law Enforcement Professional Standards Commission. This rigorous evaluation ensures that Scott County Sheriff's Office meets high standards in law enforcement practices and policies, upholding public trust and confidence in our office. The information provided herein is intended to offer a clearer understanding of the events that occurred, to the best of our knowledge. We want to assure all individuals that we take the safety and security of the community very seriously. The Scott County Sheriff's Office remains steadfast in its commitment to excellence, and we will continue to work diligently to serve and protect all individuals with respect, fairness, and impartiality. The Scott County Sheriff's Office has referred all complaints, threats, and acts of intimidation and vandalism to the Virginia State Police for investigation to ensure transparency and avoid any potential conflicts of interest. This decision reflects our commitment to maintaining a public trust and upholding the integrity of all investigative processes. If any individual has any complaints or concerns regarding this incident, they may contact the Virginia State Police, Scott County Sheriff's Office. So yeah, I think it's fair to say that this situation has went way further compared to where we started, right? It's went from this one situation at a house party to now the police are being mentioned quite a lot here, right? I mean, they were mentioned originally, then they kind of got involved, kind of coming to the house to see who made this phone call, and now we're actually seeing the statement. Now, Nicole has recently posted a video actually responding to this statement where she starts off by questioning the fact that they said they're not involved.
So I do have something I want to say, and it's directed directly to the Scott County Sheriff's Department. if you had nobody come to the scene or were involved in the incident, then why do I have videotape of the state police showing up? Because you had summoned them to my property.
Then goes on to ask if they found out who actually left the call.
I am extremely curious in knowing if you happen to figure out who called, since it was so serious to send special investigators to my house and it was so important to talk to my husband. I'm very curious. What have you done for this situation since then, since you're not involved in everything? What's going on?
Yeah, I must be missing something here, right? But surely it should be pretty easy to find out who made the call, right? Or at least find out the device where the call came from. Like, even if the call was made with no caller ID, surely police have ways to work around that, you would imagine. So I don't see why it became like this big mystery and they can't find out who actually made the call. Like I said, I might be missing something here, right? I don't know exactly how the police work, especially like American police, right? Not from America. So if anyone could tell me why it is difficult for them to find out, please let me know. Nicole goes on to ask if they've done a voice analysis on the call and then basically hints at the fact, like pretty clearly, that she believes it could be Jake.
Have you guys done a voice analysis on, which you don't even really need to do? It sounds exactly like rhymes with schmicks. I'm just saying. I have video of his voice, and you can go back onto my profile, and you can do your voice analysis that way if you would like. Apparently, you don't have caller ID. You know, I'm really sick of this small town mentality, because I would have done anything to be a part of the community and to be involved in making community. And you people you really are so dead up on that hill that you're never going to come down. And it really stinks. It really stinks. And you know what? I really regret coming to this town.
Yeah, so I mean, we're hearing Nicole saying that she regrets coming to this town at this point, which is obviously really sad to see. They've recently moved. But I mean, it's hard to really blame her, right? Because it's not even just that original incident at like a house on 4th of July. It's escalated to this much bigger situation. There seems to be more and more people getting involved as it goes on. And all we've been hearing from comments, and these comments could like be completely untrue, right? But Nicole is constantly seeing comments from people saying like, because it's a small town, the Hicks family know a lot of people, it's going to be hard for her, she's going to be unwelcomed, all this stuff. It's not going to be a nice environment to live in. Again, that might not be true, right? The Hicks family might not be getting anyone involved in this situation. Who knows, right? But that is something that Nicole is hearing a lot. Then you've obviously got this incident with like the police coming over, and then this like threatening phone call that was made pretending to be Chris. You can't really blame them for thinking, like, what have we got ourselves into here?
I can't believe that I'm saying this, but I can't believe I should have vetted the people in the town, because I've never encountered that. I'm like mind blown right now. So since you said that you had an investigation because of this death threat that you accused my husband of, what's the update? Is there an update? Did you figure out who it was? We're all dying to know.
Yeah, I mean, who knows if we're going to get an update on that, right? It would actually be quite a wild update if we did actually find out the person who left the call. So now the final update we actually have here is another phone call. I don't think we've ever looked through like so many phone calls in like a situation before. We can see the caption of the video says, "I received a long apology from my son's friend." I'm assuming that's like my son's friend's mum. "And some very needed clarification on how my son's information got doxxed and a little perspective on the situation. Can you actually believe this all started from me getting my feelings hurt over poor behaviour at a not party but gathering of people who know each other." So yeah, if you remember the beginning of the video, we looked at a comment that was left on Nicole's page, basically saying that the Hicks family know someone at her son's school and they're doxing his information. Now in this phone call, it is claimed that Jake's sister or half-sister or someone else in the family does indeed work at the school. It's important to note here that this is obviously just coming from the phone call. We don't really have any proof of that.
Sister or stepsister, I'm not for sure how that works, but his sister is, hang on just a minute, let me ask. Who was your teacher that was Jake's, is it sister or half sister?
Oh, is it?
And it's,
I know, but you missed your math teacher, correct?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm not for sure how the relation is there. I just know that they are family. And then also, she is dating, you know him?
I don't.
It's like the after school teacher.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so as you just heard, it is being claimed that there is someone related to the family in some way that works at the school, and there's also some concern of Nicole's son getting his information leaked. Look, it's obviously a shitty situation all around at this point, right? It is escalated so much more than where it kind of like originally started when we first kind of spoke about this. And it's still going, right? This newest update that we just spoke about was a day ago as I'm recording this video. So who knows if there's going to be more updates. I think obviously everyone's pretty interested to know who left the phone call. Who knows if we're actually going to find out who that was, though. And yeah, that's kind of all the updates we have. I'd love to know your opinions in the comment section down below on everything we spoke about in today's video. Does any of this information change your opinion, strengthen opinions you already have? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'm going to leave it there. So if you did enjoy, please leave a like down below, subscribe if you are new, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.